welcome to SVG-TV News for Tuesday, 23rd October 2018. I am Yvette Bowens. Youth in St. Vincent and the Grenadines have been encouraged to continue to be a source of national pride as they strive for academic success. The Minister of Education, St. Clair Prince, issued this challenge as he spoke at the 2018 Schools Independence Rally today at the Victoria Park. SVG-TV's Bavin Oliver has more.
The Victoria Park was brought to life with the performances of song and dance as students in the national colors used their creative talents to celebrate this country's 39th anniversary of independence. The youth and adults present were given another reason to celebrate as 47 students were recognized for their outstanding performances in the 2018 academic year. 17 of them received national scholarships. Minister of Education St. Clair Prince praised the students who continue to reach for academic success and encouraged them to work hard to build a better SVG.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines may be small in size, but we are immense when it comes to education. Our scholars have made and continue to make tremendous contribution to national development. Many of our nationals are also flying the national flag high, working with regional and international organizations to promote development. This country has produced some of the brightest scholars in the region, intellectuals whose contributions have been recognized and continue to be recognized at home and abroad. The Ministry of Education continues to play its role as we move closer to attaining Sustainable Development Goal 4 by 2030, which speaks to ensuring inclusive and equitable quality education and the promotion of lifelong learning opportunities for all.
He said no citizen is too small to make a meaningful contribution to this country. Minister Prince also encouraged the educators to continue to provide the guidance to the nation's children, thus allowing them to secure a brighter future for themselves and the nation.
However, students need to see our country being celebrated year-round. This can easily be done by integrating love for country into the hidden curriculum. Link the tidiness of their classrooms to the tidiness of our country and its effects on tourism and our economy. Teach them to keep what they have in good condition, their school furniture, their toilet areas, the school infrastructure especially. Drill the importance of their contribution towards the development of the country into them. Continue to be the excellent exemplars of what it means to be proud, upstanding citizens of our beloved St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Chief Education Officer Beverly Neptune said the performances of the students continue to be a source of national pride for students and educators alike. She pointed out that over the last 39 years of independence, this country has faced and overcome many challenges and will face more in the future. And she called on the youth to work together to rid the country of all forms of violence and intolerance.
That we all care for the environment and we care for the less fortunate, the elderly, and that we nurture the young. As a nation, we have overcome some challenges, but we still face others. These often manifest themselves socially in the form of intolerance, bullying, and school violence. And we must together stamp them out.
This year's rally also featured a fashion show which provided students with the opportunity to show unique designs of a national dress. Jada Jackson of the Mariaco Government School took the top spot with her gown, which depicted this country's colonial past. For SVG-TV's Evening News, I am Bavin Oliver.
The Everything Vinci Expo opened today with calls for consumers to buy more locally produced and manufactured goods. The exposition, which is the largest to date, has more than 120 booths set up at the Geese Shed and will run for the next 5 days. Larissa Pugs-the-Kid has more.
Geese Shed has been transformed into a village of local exhibitors as they showcase 100% Vincentian products. The official opening ceremony took place this morning and involved performances from local groups. Delivering the feature address, Minister of Finance and Economic Planning, Camilo Gonzalez, lauded the exhibitors, organizers, and said there is need for Vincentians to support local. He noted that there is still a high percentage of importation when more local commodities could be used.
Exports have been relatively constant. Vincentian imports have risen dramatically from $398 million in 2000 to $891 million last year, an increase of over 120%. Before the global economic and financial crisis, our import bill topped $1 billion. This tells local businesses that there is a multi-million-dollar untapped local market for Vincentian goods and services.
The finance minister reminded persons that the products made in SVG are meeting international standards, which makes them comparable to any products which are imported. Gail Gallup, a representative from Caribbean Export, lauded the organizers for putting on such an exhibition and said getting the private sector involved is a plus for economic growth in SVG.
The IMF projected a 2.1% growth in 2018 for the economy, fueled by increased tourist arrivals. It is, however, recommended that sustainable growth be achieved by enhancing the competitiveness of the local private sector. The private sector, after all, drives the economy. This will lead to increased GDP, foreign exchange earnings, and employment. Therefore, we view the expanded Everything Vinci Expo Plus 2018 as an important step in establishing linkages and promoting exports of local products and services.
Invest SVG is the organizer of the Everything Vinci Plus Expo and has attracted 125 exhibitors. Executive Director Annette Mark said exporting remains a challenge. However, they are making headway with the help from the OECS.
The issue of sea transport or the shipment of goods through the OECS and the wider CARICOM region and some international markets is always a concern to everyone involved in export, but it is an issue that is not unique to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I am happy to acknowledge that the OECS Commission continues to work with the member governments to address the issue of the movement of goods across the Eastern Caribbean. This will certainly remove one of the challenges as we move forward.
The Expo has a daily theme. Tomorrow, Wednesday, the focus will be on music and art. Thursday is fashion and food. Friday will be comedy and callaloo. On Saturday, it is rum and soca. And on Sunday, the final day, it's high tea in Hairuno. Reporting for SVG-TV News, I am Larissa Pogsley-Kidd.
Chairman of Invest SVG, Anthony Regisford, said he would like to see an exhibition center established here where Vincentians can showcase their products all year round. Regisford was at the time addressing the opening ceremony today of the second Everything Vinci Plus Expo at the Geese Shed, which he suggests as a suitable venue.
I'm hoping, Minister Gonsalves, that at least temporarily this Geese Shed can be spruced up even a bit more and maybe not go back to a car park. And Invest SVG can work with the Port Authority in making this venue some sort of exhibition center. You know, it's not one with frills, but some sort of exhibition center.
Regisford said such a facility is needed in the country, bearing in mind the increased manufacturing of quality products.
Because a facility like this is very needed if our local producers, the people who offer services, goods, and products, are able to showcase what they have, and so that Vincentians would know the quality of what's being produced.
A 12-member delegation from the Republic of Taiwan on China is participating in this year's Everything Vinci Plus Expo. They are not only entrepreneurs, but businessmen who have investments in other countries. Ambassador of Taiwan Calvin Ho said he sees their participation as an added boost to this year's exposition.
Attendance here, I believe, can make this event more fruitful. And also, these business leaders, their investment is not only actually in Taiwan, but also in the United States and in Canada. And all the business actually, some of them actually covered even this region or countries in Africa. So I hope that their attendance here can make new opportunity to build up a business relationship with Vincentian friends here.
Ambassador Ho said that the good relationship between the people and the government of SVG and Taiwan has paved the way for trade and investment opportunities, which is what the Taiwan delegation is seeking.
The trade and investment are very, very important for the economy, and development for a country. The Expo occasion like this actually has a great help to do the trade promotion.
The Taiwan delegation is the largest of the overseas exhibitors and buyers at this year's Expo. There is also participation from Trinidad and Tobago, Antigua and Barbuda, Guyana and Barbados. This is the second year that Invest SVG has hosted the Expo, which attracted 43 participants in its first year. This year, that number has tripled to 120. Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves says there is a need for a more strategic approach to fix what he calls administrative flaws in the recruitment process for persons wanting to become police officers. The Prime Minister, who was speaking at last Thursday's sitting of Parliament, says that many persons who possess the qualifications and skills to become policemen and women are sometimes not selected for unknown reasons, and this is a situation which must be looked into.
Somebody will come to you and say, listen, I have 6 subjects, 5 subjects. I did the physical examination, the medical examination. I had an interview, and I ain't hear at all from the police. So that person didn't make the cut, say in 2016. Well, you can't forget about that person. You have to up-to-date that list and have those involved, those therefore when you come into the numbers in 2016, in 2017, and so on and so forth. So there is an administrative flaw in this particular process.
PM Gonsalves says the practice of slipping persons under the radar must be stopped as it could bring the entire recruitment process into disrepute.
And they slip them in under the radar without anybody else knowing. Well, clearly that is wrong, because that puts me and all of us in here in an invidious position and put the criteria open for abuse and misuse. Because how I could tell my constituent that they need minimum 5 subjects, and 5 might even make you get the cut 6 and 7. And then Tom Jones or Mary Phillips with 1 subject, 2 subjects. But because they're the son or the daughter of an ASP or a superintendent or have some other kind of friend connection, is wrong. And part of the reforms which we are seeking to put in place in the law this afternoon, in the bill which we are bringing, will help to weed out some of that. You'll have a second opportunity to pick it up.
LIAT shareholders and stakeholders met here on Monday for an update on the technical committee report on the restructuring of the airline. The meeting, which was chaired by Prime Minister Gonsalves, was attended by the Prime Ministers of Barbados, Antigua and Barbuda, and St. Lucia, along with Secretary General of CARICOM, Erwin LaRocque, Chairman of the LIAT Board, Jane Holder, CEO of LIAT, Julie Reefer-Jones, and the Director General of the OECS, Didakis Jews. LIAT is currently engaged in restructuring as part of its efforts to achieve greater profitability and improve efficiency. At a media conference following the meeting at the Argyle International Airport Conference Room, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves gave an overview of the decisions arrived at so far, noting that it was made clear to all present that the airline can no longer operate as business as usual.
The conclusion was that whatever we do, it cannot be any business as usual, and there have to be a quantum leap of change, alterations in governance arrangements, internal processes, technical issues, and of course, importantly for everybody to be on board.
The Prime Minister said there have been calls for some time now for a new airline or to have LIAC privatized. He noted that while some persons are in favor of these options, others are not.
That is to say, an option other than an option for a private sector takeover, which was not realistic in the circumstances. And a second option, closing the airline and start a new one, was felt that it had some challenges, particularly in a transitional period. Possible and doable, but difficult. But we have done difficult things before. And there's this other option which would open the way for private sector involvement, but with other shareholder governments coming to have a possible commitment.
Workers of the airlines were also considered as part of the restructuring plan, and according to Prime Minister Gonzalez, the process will involve getting the unions on board. The police are carrying out investigations into several reports of vehicle damage and burglary and the murder of a 32-year-old farmer. Alvin Antrobus, a farmer of Green Hill, was reportedly shot about his body by masked gunmen around 9 p.m. last Sunday and died at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital. The shooting took place at Green Hill and brings to 26 the number of homicides for this year. The police also say in a release that they are investigating a number of reports of damage to property at Rockies involving motor vehicles whose windows were smashed and items of varying values removed. These incidents are reported to have spanned the period October 16th to 18th, and the police are appealing to residents of Rockies to exercise diligence and to provide any information which can help them in the investigations. Additionally, the public is being asked to report any suspicious activity to the police. The police say that charges have also been laid on a number of persons separately for a range of offenses of burglary, theft and possession of controlled drugs and handling of stolen goods.